Hey, what's good, and welcome to the Website Mike Show. I am Website Mike, your host, and I am just still figuring things out with the whole live streaming situation here. I'm using my laptop camera and just the equipment that I've had. I haven't invested a ton in a bunch of new equipment yet, but that's the plan in the future, is to just keep doing this on a daily basis and eventually take it up to the level that I want to take it to, which is just going to be like much faster and all that. But so to kind of just jump right into things, we have been building a website for a psychology office or a psychologist, like a solo practice as well. Could also work in this situation, and we've been building it using a template. And the template, let me show you where it came from. It comes from here. This is my website, where if you come here, the first thing I ask you to do is fill out a just name and email address form if you want your site reviewed. Like, I'm happy to take a look at it and then get back to you, and you can take it from there. But if you don't have a site at all already, what you can do, or if you just want to build a new one, you can click on don't have a website yet, or click in the top right corner where it says website packages. And better to click on this button in the top right, website packages, and that will show you a bunch of different websites that I have available as templates for download. Like, there's a really quick way to get 80% of the way in terms of having your website built, ready to go. Then you go in and just change it up, for your own needs. And you can change a lot. It's not going to look like super templated when you're done with it, but while it's just a really quick, cost-effective way to get a website up and running and like working for you, making money, getting a return. That's like kind of really important, a really important consideration. So what I'm going to do here is remove myself from the screen and close this tab. So here's the psychologist office website we've been building. It's one of those templates that I installed, and over the past few episodes I have gone over how it gets put together. And so as you scroll down, you can see there's some movement here, some animations. There's links here. This guy's picture is a link to a blog post. So whatever featured image is associated with the blog post, it would come through like this. This is actually a really large picture, so it came through really large, but be resized. Then there will be the excerpt, and then there is the post content below that. And then down below that, there will be more articles. And so that is like a template for how blog posts might look. We could adjust the design of it very quickly, but just the functionality of it is what I'm going over right now. And so what to consider next after building out the website itself and getting services listed and getting all of the e-commerce stuff working, the next big thing is figuring out what is the best way to improve my user's experience with my website. Okay, user experience is a really big deal, and the reason I'm saying that it's a big deal is because in May, it's April right now, in May, there will be a update to Google's algorithm. So it's going to be really important. But the algorithm update is not going to be your typical algorithm update where they're going to just look at like keywords and the traditional SEO metrics. They're going to be really looking at like page load speed time and just overall performance. Okay, so this is why I want to show you this website called gtmetrics.com. You may already be familiar with it, but it's a very standard tool to use to understand your website's current performance. All you do is you just drop in the URL. So let's copy this and paste it here for an analysis. Test the site. Let's see what we come back with. So it takes, it can take a minute or so, depending especially on the size of the site. It may take longer. But the main thing to be thinking about is, what is my user's experience? So let's say if someone came to this website and the first thing that happens is there's like a pop-up that's really hard to close. In addition to just popping up and being annoying, it also is really hard to close. Well, then that is a horrible user experience. And Google wants to know that, and they're going to start measuring that now and using it as a metric to rank based, different searches. So when someone clicks like request an appointment here, it connects over to another page, but it may be a better experience to just have it fire a pop-up right there, and they can just quickly request an appointment. And so that will also tell Google, hey, that people, yes, are actually taking action on a website. That's another metric. Okay, so really the overall performance you want to be thinking about here. Now, this here is the performance report from GTmetrix, and you can see that overall this site is loading very well. No problems that really stick out. But something to be thinking about always is image size. Okay, so here's this images breakdown. It's almost looks like 45.4, almost half of total page size, at least on that front page. So in just images, it's easy to overlook the size of an image being uploaded, either the dimensions or just the just file size of just a really dense picture. So the way to combat something like that, or not combat, but the way to deal with it, is now here jumping back into the admin dashboard of our WordPress site this test site that we're building out. What I did is I hovered over plugins, hovered over it, and then clicked on add new. So this brings up the WordPress plugin store. Okay, you can kind of think of it like the App Store on a phone. And then I typed in the keyword optimize. And you can also search in different ways. There's literally like probably millions of different plugins at this point. But something to be very aware of is the rating of the plugin. Is it a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star? How many active installations is also really important. Is it compatible with the current version? Have they updated it so that it's that way? And when was the last update as well? That's something else very important. Now in this case, I have actually already installed this SG optimizer, and I didn't install it. It was installed when because I use SiteGround for hosting, this siteground.com, and they automatically install this optimizer plugin when they create a new WordPress instance on a website. Okay, and you don't have to stick with it, but it's pretty good apparently, right? Like the ratings are good. Unfortunately, this one is untested with the version of WordPress, so that's not cool. I don't like that, but there's probably everything's probably fine. Like that's not a reason to uninstall it. And what this optimizer is doing, let's click in here and take a look. They'll explain it here a bit. It's designed to link WordPress SiteGround performance services. It will not work on another hosting provider. This is SiteGround specific. So, and then there's all sorts of settings within it. There's even here a tutorial one can take to learn more. I should probably open that in a new tab and take that later and go through it. But here they explain now exactly how to set up and optimize the website using that plugin. Okay. I mean, they don't explain it perhaps right here in the detail you might need, but that's an overview of it. The installation is super simple. The changelog, it's not really super useful for us, but screenshots can be very useful. Give you just a quick look at what a plugin is going to look like once you've installed it, so you don't have to go through that hassle. And this one, it's already installed, so it's irrelevant, but in the future, if I'm looking for another type of plugin, I'll definitely check out the screenshots tab on a few different plugins and just get a sense of what the backend looks like, and if I like the design, or if I don't, if it doesn't work for me, then I'm not going to install that particular one most likely. but it's hard to really tell 100% what the whole user experience is going to be like just from the screenshots. Sometimes it's possible, but another really great tab to get a better sense of that is the reviews. You can go ahead and dive into them deeply if you want to, or just scan down, look for the 2 stars here. Like, what's the problems that people have? The 5 stars, some can be useful. You can sometimes glean a nugget or 2 of cool information or something, but it's usually the lower ranking stars that'll point out some kind of flaw or issue. Let's say like one plugin is clashing with another plugin, and you happen to be running that other plugin on your site as well. Well, so now you will know about that ahead of time and perhaps therefore avoid that issue. So it's always really good, to take a minute or 2, read the reviews before you're going to install something, especially if it's like a major, not major, but if it's going to be optimizing your website. You really want to take your time and choose the one best, and also then know how to set it up properly. Because it's not just plug and play and set it and forget it. It's like install it, now you've got to get it working for your particular site as best you can. And so the optimizer, if we want to click into it here, we can take a deeper look at it. Web fonts optimization, it's a new feature. Okay. Changing the default way to load Google Fonts in order to save HTTP requests. In addition to that, fonts be properly preloaded so browsers time. All right, let's enable that. Okay, and that's enabled. And you can even go further into this, right? Minimize HTML output. Right? Why not? Let's do it. Minimize JavaScript. Sure. Buying all this stuff. Okay, so it's saying advised to check the front end. So we just did that, and now let's go ahead and check the front end here. See what happens. Click on the homepage link. Looks like it's fine. Something may show up. There's nothing drastic. It's probably just totally fine. And again, you could go through and turn on and off whichever ones of these you want, but taking the time to really set up as the optimizer that you end up using is it's an important investment in your website. Makes a big difference. So I'm going to jump in here. So checking into this tutorial here, you can see they go quite deep into it. Probably can spend a few hours, I would guess, on this. And I would definitely recommend you do that with whatever plugin you decide to go with. So that being said, I think we'll go ahead and end the live stream here very shortly, but go to, also go to gtmetrix.com, put your website URL in and have it scanned, and then go through, take another, bit of time and go through like these different tabs here, because they're not going to be all green usually. Usually it's very helpful because some, like this one down here, okay, there's 2 of them, okay, but consider improvement, and then if you hover over the square, it will tell you what is exactly the definition of that card, and then you can click on a learn more button to learn more and then figure out how do I improve it. So if there's something that's like, if one of the cards is like red, then that's something to move on, and you can let the other ones get fixed later. That's one of the huge things is that it really helps you to focus your efforts on the important and urgent issues with the site. All right, let's call it a day for this Saturday live stream. But yeah, episode 10 in the bag, and full steam ahead.